Hey everyone, J-Rod Plays here. This is going to be the final guide that we have for the weekly guides for the Season of the Witch. This is going to be the final week, of course, the 7th week. And as you can see here, I've had everything filled out. I have all the Major Arcana, so we'll be getting our final one this week. And the Minor Arcana is still not complete. There's still one more week probably worth of story or some additional kind of sub-story. The last section of the Embaru engine, now that there's been some changes. Obviously I don't want to get into spoilers right away in this guide, so spoiler warning for anybody who's trying to still play the game. I'm going to try to keep it spoiler free, but as you get into certain sections you'll see that it's a little bit harder to do that, but right now of course I'm not going to go into that. But basically you're going to start out by speaking with H.E.L.M in the H.E.L M. Once you've talked to H.E.L M, she's going to go through and give you a little bit of information on the final tie that she's preparing for, and then she's going to send you off on a mission. That mission is to complete the Savathun Spire, and so this is a Savathun Spire that's just like any normal one. There's no real big changes. There's nothing secret this week. The chest still spawns like normal, so you can do the secret chest. And when you beat the boss, you're going to get actually some new dialogue, I believe, that's going to tie you into the actual meat and potatoes of this particular week, which is the mission Sunder. Now, it's going to be a whole new story mission. It's going to go into all of the final preparations that Eris has been making in order to stop Zivurath. And I don't want to, again, spoil anything. I'm going to have a completely different video for the mission Sunder, so you can check that out if you'd like to see what the mission looks like. Then from there, once you completed the mission Sunder, you're going to come back and you're going to speak with H.E.L.M in the Athenaeum. H.E.L.M will give you kind of her final bit of information to close out the week. And you're going to hear a radio message from my core that's going to kind of cap off the season and kind of cap off the changes and everything that we've been preparing with the ritual, Savathun, and all of that. So, again, trying to avoid any of the spoilers in that scenario, just to give you kind of a quick heads up on those things. And as I post the full story, and as I post the mission Sunder, you'll be able to see how that turned out in those videos. Now, the main part of the quest this week is going to be getting into the final piece of the Arcana. That's going to be called the Wish. And so the Arcana itself is going to take us to a raid dungeon area so that we can get kills to get the insight. I just basically went to the Grasp of Avarice. You can also do probably a Shiroti checkpoint to get your 25 insight. It happens pretty fast because all the enemies spawning in high density. And then from there you just come back to the Lectern of Divination, and the Lectern will give you the final card, which is going to give you a new ability by dealing damage to create Orbs of Power. I haven't gotten the card drawn yet, so I don't know how often it creates orbs, but that sounds like a pretty cool card, so I kept that active and I deactivated another card that I wasn't necessarily using much. And other than that, you get a couple of small minor cards this week, as far as I think you get one more Recovered Red War weapons engram. And then there's this final opaque card on the far bottom right, and that card is still locked, meaning it's probably not available this week. Also in the Altar of Summons, I checked out the Altar of Summons. I ran like 3 or 4 of them to see if I can get the new Xivu Brood to pop, but apparently that's still also locked, so that's probably going to spawn in the next week's coming, so that it's kind of leaving a little bit more content drip-fed to us, something to do each week. But it's not available right now. Nobody has the Triumph, so that's something you don't have to worry about hunting as well. So no final opaque card yet, and also no new altar encounter. But that's pretty much the whole week. It's been a short week as far as like eventfulness and things that you do. You don't have to do a whole lot of running around. It's mostly story, and so I'll get into that in the next video when it comes to showing the mission Sunder, and then also in the video that's going over the story. It's going to be like, you know, my normal seasonal movie. It's going to have all the story beats put together in one place, so you guys can watch it front to back. Especially if you don't own the season and you want to check out what the season looked like, you can see that as well. Thanks very much for all my new subscribers, and I'll see you guys in the next guide.